Hactar is a tool that we have developed as part of the grants program. Our motivation for building Hactar was a need that we recognize when mining ourselves other coins or generally is that you need to have some data insights at your fingerprint, at the tips of your fingerprints, because you don't want to connect to the remote server and check the data there, run the CLI commands, but this is a tool where you can connect either from your mobile phone or from your PC to a web service and have all your stats in one place. Our landing page is hactar.app, so you can check it out and start using there and read more information about it there. So currently what Hactar can do and which data it can read is general status of a miner node. This includes on which Lotus version your node is running. Does it need an update or not? So you'll have a check mark about that. Is it online or offline? Of course, because that is a very important metric. What's the disk occupancy? Is it the disk near full or not? And general miner info, which address is used, how about sectors and their sizes and miner power. So a general overview. And then it contains some history overviews and graphs on miner performance, such as when was mining reward collected, a history of uptime, when the node was online or offline, and list of deals and their status, price, and how long they have been active. And of course, the important part for us was the offline monitoring. So you get a report on in your email that your node is down. This is the current version of Hactar and which information it has. If anyone has any other needs that has feedback depending on this, we will listen about it, so shoot us an email. How Hactar works is actually it combines three parts. On the left side, you can see that a miner has a few running nodes, let's say, on each along each node and Lotus node and miner. You need to install a Hactar Demo app. It's a small app that reads from the Lotus node and miner information and reports to our API. And then there is our application that just reads our API and data from the database that we serve this data from. So basically, you don't need to expose your miner API or so on, but the Hactar Demo app reports all the data. I'll go through a short demo how to set it up and how it looks like. The demo was built on DevNet, just to note the numbers. So this is our landing page of the app where you can register. It's free to register. You can sign up using your email and sign in as well. So that would be the first step, to go to analytics.hactar.app and register there. There you'll receive information what do you need to do on your miner server, and that is install Hactar Demo app. So you connect your remote server where you run the miner, you download Hactar, give it execution permission. Sorry for the bad copy pasting skills here. But you just need 3 commands to run it, and it works out of the box. You use the same login, of course, because we do have authentication there. Sorry, I misclicked here. Sorry about that. Yeah, and start it and enter your information, the same credentials that you have used to register on our website. This was the message that my miner is down. So just to set up everything, I have run Lotus node. This is a familiar process to a miner, I believe. And then running one miner node. And now I can start Hactar because it needs a running node. So basically that's it. You just start it, and if everything is all right, it should be reporting. And if you refresh your dashboard on our app, you would be able to see the stats. So here is the message that update is available, and this is the general miner info that I was talking about, the sector sizes and the miner power. How old is information? You can turn on and off the email notifications. You can manage your nodes, and it supports multiple nodes. So if you're running multiple miners, you can all do from one dashboard. The remaining data is balance, how much your balance has changed depending on the previous day, how long has it been online, the disk space through time as well, and mining rewards through time. This was on DevNet, so not much data. And deals and their status, size, and price. So it's a basic data about your miner performance, which can be easily installed and easily viewed from the app, from wherever you are. And this is an example of email notification if your miner gets turned off by any chance, it's not working anymore. If you want to learn more about Hactar, you can check out our main repository on GitHub, or you can go to our application as well, analyticshactar.app, and just start using, and that's it. Basically, it is ready for use, and would love to receive your feedback regarding that.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Hyperion. I'm a miner, and today I'm going to present what we developed for visualization and analytics. So quick introduction. I'm using IPFS for like, I think 3 or 4 years. And I jumped on the Filecoin via the space race 2 months ago. 1 month and a half. And so today, what I'm going to present is that how we can use and leverage Grafana, which is an analytic tool that we want to use. So it's open source. And here we go. So the objective for us was like during the space race, we identified that we were just have a lack of reporting tool. We were not able to do any proactive monitoring. We don't have any push notification to mobile. So we want to focus on that first. But part of this project, we also expect to improve all the operation on managing a miner. So actually, we want to move from reactive to more proactive, and don't spend all our time just watching our screen. So this is how it looks like today, and how it was during the space race for me. So it's like a lot of terminals to watch all the different logs, and command lines with all these useful information. So the good point for us is that Protocol Labs with Lotus, they provide API to get almost all this information through these APIs. So the idea is to move from this current monitoring to Grafana. So Grafana is open source. It has a very huge community, and we already have a lot of dashboards out of the box that we can leverage, but they were missing Lotus miner information. So what we did is like we leverage Grafana, we leverage Prometheus. So Prometheus is a database that collects all this information, and Grafana is presenting this. And so we developed what we call a lotus-exporter, which is a small component that you deploy on your miner, and you retrieve all the data that are then analyzed by the system. So we are two to work on that. There is a sender and myself, Sonic. So you can join and reach us when you want on Slack. So Lotus Exporter exports the Lotus information to Prometheus and Grafana to build a nice graph and notification. So here it's how we work and why we decided to go for Grafana. So one of the main idea is that so Prometheus can collect information from a lot of different protocols and targets. So the Filecoin here icon is represent the Lotus miner. So we deploy a node exporter, which is a component from produced by Prometheus. It actually just bind the port, and you can just retrieve a lot of data. There is a very small footprint on the server, so which was quite useful. And one of the big difference with the other competitors or the other solutions is that this one you are putting the data, and so because actually our Prometheus server is on our private network, we don't want to expose our private network to the Filecoin nodes, which is on our public network. So what we did is actually we prefer that just putting that, having a software here that is pushing the data. And once the data are in Prometheus, you just have a web UI, which is very nice. I'm going to do a demo for you. That is creating all the different graphs based on the data we have in Prometheus. So why Grafana? So there is a huge community. You have a portal. You can download a lot of existing dashboards that are impressive. You can easily export and import these dashboards. So it's very convenient. The UI is very nice. You can customize almost everything. It's easy to deploy and configure. And the component that is deployed have a very small footprint on the machine. So I will explain that later on. And out of the box, you already have dashboards for all the system information and the GPU, the NVIDIA GPU that we are leveraging. They already have dashboards, so it's very easy, and you will have a lot of reporting information here. So what we developed is a Prometheus exporter. So they define on their website how an exporter should work, and we just follow the guidelines. So it's a very small program. It collects Lotus nodes and miner data. Everything is done via API. So the idea is that when there is new release, we don't have to readapt the code based on the different command lines. It's completely configuration-less. So you have nothing to do except running the script on the machine. It's pulling the data every minute, and there is a small footprint. The execution every minute is just 1 sec. So in this 1 sec, we gather like between 1,000 and 2,000, depending on the size of the miner, information from this miner. Data are pulled from Prometheus, I just explained before, and you just deploy it on the Lotus miner. You don't have to deploy it on all the different workers. We have two different versions today of this exporter. So Standard is working on a Node.js version, which is a daemon running on the machine, binding a port that's connected. In parallel, I developed another one, which is a Python script that is run by the cron tab. It's done every minute. So the result is exactly the same, just two different approach. I will not go through all this now. So let's go through a quick demo. Okay. Screen sharing. So now you should see my screen. Okay, so what I'm presenting here is, so let's start by this one. This one is the output of the exporter that is running on the miner machine. So this is all the lines that are produced by the exporter. So it's very easy to troubleshoot, and you can, I mean, the script is not that big, so anyone can just review it and modify it. It's very quick. So that's what is produced by the every minute. Then you have the Prometheus server, so the database that is collecting this data and presenting this data. So same thing, you can connect it. It's very easy, very convenient. You can run troubleshoot. I mean, you can see real time what are all the different values. And then this is how it's presented. So here, this is a standard dashboard, which is coming, I mean, out of the box in Grafana. So as an example, this one, you already have all the useful information you expect to monitor the system. You have the CPUs, you have, I mean, there is hundreds of dashboards in this one. And you can select the one, you can easily take it, create your own like this, modify it just in 2 clicks. Everything is through you don't have to script almost anything. You don't have to script. It's just configuration. You can change the colors, you can change the threshold, you can change the notification. Everything is very easy and very convenient. So this is the standard one, which is of course missing all the Lotus information. So what we did is this one. So the idea, so what is the target for me is to get rid of all the terminal except when I have a problem and I need to connect to the machine. So I want to get all the different screens on the same one. So this is work in progress. This is just the beginning. We're starting this like a week ago. Okay, this is what we have today. So the first thing is that we created it to be able to manage easily different miners. So we can leverage this. Today we have, I have a few miners. So let's go through this one. So what we presented here is that we retrieve information from the network, like the chain head network. We are on mainnet. You can see your power. So this is real time. So that's my power today. Different balance with different colors. So here, like this is the available balance, the one that is the most important, because when you're running out of fund on this one, you go into trouble. So here you are monitoring the miner, the owner, the worker, the control address, so, and you get colors and you get notification when actually something is going wrong here. You have some funds that are locked, like the pre-commit vesting pledge and also fee debt, and other wallets. So I've got a few other wallets that you can see here, and I can easily monitor. We can also retrieve useful information like the daemon version. So when you are managing different cluster, it's easier to identify if something is going wrong. So we are going to have a full inventory on the server that is available on this dashboard below on the page. But you can also have some, we can check what are the net peers. So if it's going too low, we know that we are going into issues. So same thing, the green is changing to orange and red. Now, the useful part that I was missing during the space race. So we can follow the number of sealing process in real time. We have here, so what you usually have in the command lines. Yeah, so as you can see, so here it's manual refresh, but you can set it up to like every 5 minutes or every minute if you like. So everything is live. It's connected to machines, so you can see what are the sealing jobs, different stages. Here we created one that is showing all the history of the sealing jobs, and you can see in the red line, as an example, what is waiting. So it gives you useful information to troubleshoot and see that you have a lot of jobs waiting. So maybe your settings are not optimal, or you have a problem in your scheduler. Yeah, number of sectors. So sectors reporting. We have, this is the sectors I've got today. The probing sectors. The M pool, which is empty. But like during SR2, it was a different story. So here we are monitoring the M pool. So if I send a message, you will show the message appearing here. I can try just to show you how it looks like. Here we go. Expecting it takes more than 1 minute. Okay. Yeah, here we go. So it's showing the message, and we have some filter here. So it's showing the owner address instead of the existing address on the network. So it's more visual and it's more easy to troubleshoot. So when you have your proof of space time coming, you will see the control address. So you can see if there is a control address in the queue. Yeah, that's all for this. Other graph that we are doing, just to same thing to troubleshoot the different sealing jobs and the queue. The balance, different balance. So we graph over time. What do we have here? Yeah. So this is some useful information that usually we don't really have a look, but that can be useful for troubleshooting from the daemon. So you have some bandwidth and usage of the different components that are exchanging data on the network. So that are same thing real time here. And yes, that's the last one is the time that the exporter is taking to retrieve the data. So as you can see here, the last one was like 2 minutes, but most of 2 seconds. Sorry, most of the time it's more like it's more like 2 seconds or 1 sec. What is taking time is to retrieve the data from the different sectors. So this is something you can disable if you don't want to get reporting on the sectors. I personally, at that time, like to get that type of information. Yeah, so let's go back to the presentation. So what's coming next? So we can easily integrate all the storage information, all the deals information. We can create more analytic graphs. So same thing, if you got ideas, feel free to give me these ideas. I mean, presenting the data is, it's really a green field here. So we have plenty of possibilities, and most of the time I just don't really know how to present this data. So if you get ideas, that's fine. Deadlines are coming next. So they're already available in the exporter. So it's just a question to how I present the data. And useful information about the network, like the gas price, also the worker resources. We are not showing here, but I used to leverage through the different command lines, and I would like to get them available here. And the number of blocks, of course, we want. So if you want to help, you're more than welcome. I mean, creating graph is not very difficult. Jumping into Grafana, it's just taking a day. So you're more than welcome if you want to create and propose and try this software. The Python one, the one I'm leveraging for this graph we just show, is actually not available right now on GitHub, but I will release something soon, probably by the end of this week. So I will share the link. In the meantime, you can reach us through Slack. So our two different addresses are just there.
Hi, I'm going to give a quick overview of the Dev Grants program, then talk about the miner tooling RFPs we have and the Gitcoin Grants quadratic funding program they're currently a part of. For Filecoin Dev Grants, we accept proposals at all levels of the technical stack. This includes at the protocol layer all the way up to end user applications and user research. We also accept proposals for mining tools. Belma's Hactar app was actually funded by a Wave 1 Filecoin Dev Grant. Filecoin Dev Grant Wave submissions are normally due quarterly, every few months. We will accept your proposals on a rolling basis at any time, but at the beginning of every quarter, we get a refresh budget and start reviewing and improving new grants after the deadline. So for priority consideration in a wave, it's best to submit your proposals at the beginning of each wave. Currently, we're in wave 5, and that was due October 1st, and our next wave 6 will be due January 15th. And wave 5 recipients will be announced soon. We currently have a special round for mainnet liftoff of grants for tools to support Filecoin miners. The deadline for proposals for this is November 21st, and we have a $50K budget in grants for this. So this is going to be part of the Gitcoin CLR quadratic funding program. How it works is that for every 1 DAI anyone from the community contributes to any of these grant projects, Protocol Labs will match that contribution using a quadratic formula, specifically the sum of the square roots of each contribution. So this allows many small contributions to matter more than a few big ones and is a way for the community to vote on these ideas. So even if you just contribute 1 DAI, it lets us know that you voted for this project and believe in it. And the more people vote, the more Protocol Labs will fund it. So quadratic voting has been a really cool idea that's been around for a while in the blockchain community, and quadratic funding has been very successful for the Ethereum community. Vitalik Buterin has a blog post analyzing Gitcoin CLR rounds and wrote a paper on it with Glenn Whale and Zoe Hitzig about applying it to public goods for the commons. And as an example, there is a Gitcoin community fund for implementing EIP 1559 by the, currently worth over $95,000 in DAI. So we are trying this out for Filecoin for the first time. Also, anyone can submit their ideas for projects on Gitcoin. So you can suggest an idea and submit it there. And you will see a few already submitted ones from this page. On that page, gitcoin.co/grants/liftoff. And you can learn if the community supports your idea, and Protocol Labs may also fund your project, even if it gets no other contributions. We'll review them. So visit that URL to look at the list of projects and contribute or suggest your own project. There are currently 9 miner tools RFPs to start, and we may post some more in the next week or so. And so to recap, we have 9 starter RFPs. Anyone can propose new projects. Anyone can contribute DAI to sort of vote for a project, and we will match that with quadratic formula. And contributions have to be in DAI, but Gitcoin is adding Filecoin soon. And we hope to help get all your ideas and tools built. The current round ends in 1 month on November 21st. And if you don't want to use Gitcoin, you can submit any proposal the regular way at the Dev Grants repo on GitHub. And if you have any questions, please DM me at Eshon, ESHON at Filecoin Slack. Next, I'm going to talk about the 9 miner tool RFPs we have posted. PL will be seed funding these tomorrow with a few thousand in DAI to start. To research these RFP ideas, we interviewed various miners and got some terrific suggestions from community members. There are some tools to support smaller miners specifically, like the monitoring tool, which is just about helping a miner monitor their system resources. It was actually Julian and Sandra's idea. So this could also just be a script or tutorial on how to set up monitoring using Prometheus and/or Telegraph, and potentially Grafana that a small miner could easily run. We're interested in helping a small miner run it on the same machine as they're running their miner, but we also welcome more advanced monitoring tools. Yeah, so Julian and Sandra's tool may be eligible for this grant. Next up, we have the miner sector checker, which is about adding more intuitive CLI for finding failed sectors and removing them. Miners currently need to keep monitoring their sectors and respond to faults or failures, making this easier to check and then pull up relevant logs and messages along with the CLI, and would be really great. So the third one we have on this list is the CID indexing tool for miners, which is about making a miner's storage more transparent and accessible to storage clients and retrieval clients, such as developers building storage apps. So this idea came from Juan Benet himself and is about indexing all the CIDs that a miner has. And it really would help the retrieval market for people to be able to look up like which miner is storing which CID. The next few we have is one is a miner transaction history and earnings predictor RFP. So it's currently not easy for a miner to figure out all the fees and gas and specific transaction history they have, even on a block explorer like Filefox. So nor is it easy to predict earnings. So we've had a lot of requests for an ROI calculator, but it's kind of complicated to build one. So we're starting out with the more basic components. This is about just interpreting a miner's transaction history in detail, and then using that data to predict future earnings. And another basic goal of this is to help miners figure out how much they need to keep in their wallets for fees over time. Next is the auto add new sectors based on capacity. Adding new sectors is currently managed manually. It'd be great to have a tool that can monitor systems resources, and if there's capacity available, automatically accept new deals and add new sectors. Next is the mining task pool for smaller miners. This one is a little controversial because it's a trustless mining pool is not possible in Filecoin right now. We may have to propose an FIP to the protocol or wait for user-defined smart contracts coming next year. But this was proposed by a community member, and some miners may want to try it out anyway. And we're interested in funding any updates to the FSM that could be used to farm out tasks to smaller remote miners. Next few, we have the gas tool and guide. Any tools to help explain current gas, including base fees and fee cap for each tip set, and average gas premiums could help community members also understand how gas works in Filecoin. And the next one, miner docs and community guides, is kind of a fun one. There are two parts to this. We currently welcome really good PRs to the Filecoin docs. It will be at the discretion of the docs team what qualifies as a good PR worthy of a grant. And then the second part is if you write a blog post or make a tutorial or a video with tips and analysis about your Filecoin miner or mining in Filecoin in general, we might fund that. So here are some topics of interest. For example, like how did you set up your rig, set up tricks for Lotus, your redundancy strategies for storage redundancy, monitoring tools that you use, and your disaster recovery plans. So all contributions will be judged based on quality and award amounts determined afterwards at the discretion of the grants and docs teams. So a docs PR could be worth anywhere between $5 to $150. An entire topic that you write about could be worth between $1 to $500, and a minor video tutorial could also be worth $1 to $500. Finally, we have the miner hardware profitability calculator. It's a general calculator for hardware setup costs and how that impacts ceiling rates. It doesn't have to include collateral. Someone else is building a model for that. So this is just about sort of estimation of hardware and ceiling rates. So those are the mining tooling grant RFPs we have so far. And if you have any questions, reach out to me on Filecoin Slack.